Hey everybody, Jay Barrino here, and welcome back. We're continuing Five Nations. It's an indie isometric RTS. Takes a lot of inspiration from older real-time strategies from the late 90s, early 2000s, like Command & Conquer, Age of Empires, StarCraft. You know, all those games that we've played before. We're on to Mission 2 of the first campaign. The Cavalry has arrived. Let's check it out.
Good morning. Yesterday was a hard day, but we successfully pushed back the Black Swan attack. Today we have to take back UX-22A and 22B.
That's right, Cole. The Black Swan is weakened. I've signaled for the nearby patrol flotillas to come here and form a strike team. They're arriving soon. Vera, what do we need to know about the stations you lost?
The main task of the UX-22A and 22B installations is to refine the helium-3 and metal ore gathered from the asteroids. Due to the station's valuable facilities and the raw materials, they were defended by Unicorp's Keiko sentry pods and barricade sets, along with a few security forces. The pirates used some high-tech equipment that had turned each our drone guard equipments against us. We had no chance to save the stations. Nonetheless, as far as we're aware, these satellites are still functional, and we might as well be able to easily disable them if we destroy the main fusion reactors.
Thank you, Miss Vargas, for the information. Aida, signal the fleet. Let's get ready to go.
Send me in, so we're going to just retake the other two remaining facilities. From these spooky Black Swan pirates, engineer shuttles are usually the primary targets of enemy raids. Defend them at all costs. That's why you need some barricade sats in your resource lines, if possible. New units here. Got some orcas.
Colburn reporting.
I think these are going to be our bread and butter.
Cavalry squadron has arrived. Look at these beauties. The Lancaster A-30 Corvettes, or as we call them, the Orcas. These guys are equipped with 130mm anti-armor guns, which can easily penetrate those dinghies the Swan Boys have.
Okay, so I believe these still can attack fighters, at least.
Commander, I've identified the UX-22A and 22B complex and localized the main power source of the stations.
Great. Those are the fusion reactors Vera talked about.
Alright, so we still have Captain Colburn here, who's kind of our main jam, and then we have these orcas, which I would consider, again, more of our bread and butter. They can attack fighters and normal, all other ships as well, with sort of a missile. They're meant to be sort of anti-armor, but even still, like, if you have enough of them, then the damage to shields doesn't... you could sort of negate that as well if you have a numerical advantage regardless. But they're meant to attack unshielded stuff, so they'll do really well against structures as well.
Make it happen.
So the enemy has a bunch of these turrets, which these are like anti-corvette or anti... I don't want to say they're like anti-capital ship, but they're kind of like a better turret, but they can't hit fighters. So what I could do is fly in here with my fighters and take this thing out, because it cannot retaliate. And then I gotta get these folks in here to hit the fusion reactor, and then the fusion reactor is what is powering all the other enemies, all the other enemy craft. But we have to be careful because if we're too close to it, if I remember correctly, it just blows up and would kill my fighters. So we want to just get in there with our own fighters. Let's move in and try and save this base.
These defense drones are too advanced for a mining corporation. Something stinks here, Cole.
So these turrets are supposed to be like experimental, like really good. They're like really good things, so they're technically not supposed to be here, I guess. Okay, we managed to save our solar satellites. They're close to death, but they're fine.
Commander Colburn, you could use these experienced miners to gather resources and strengthen your army.
Okay, let's build some more workers. I do think that my main, I don't want to say it's like a complaint per se, but my main observation of this game is it really feels like it takes quite a long time to get off the ground. So we sit here, we have to build engineer shuttles, and then get the Icarus going back and forth. And then we have our other resource here, which is helium, which I think is meant for more advanced upgrades. So we've got our research center now, so we can get all sorts of upgrades, damage, armor, range of orcas, speed of fighters. So one thing we can use our fighters for is to just scout all around.
Our stations are under attack. The Swan traffic has increased substantially within the area due to the liberation of the UX-22A. They are preparing a counterattack.
Greg, we need to stop the offensive to avoid taking a high level of casualties. Order the divisions to defend the installation.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a fighter and fly it around the outskirts of my base. What we need to do, so we retook UX-22A, and then B is up here, I believe, or one, one or the other. So we have to destroy that other fusion reactor and then get rid of all the remaining units. So one thing, again, that fighters are really good for is they can fly pretty quickly around the map and go over the asteroids to, see stuff, which is really, really helpful. I'm just going to keep making workers. There's more ore up here, though I don't think I can comfortably harvest from that without getting picked off by enemy fighters that would fly out down there to try to push back against us. So you can see the fighters can just fly right into our resource lines. Now the other thing too, if we wanted to build barricade sats, so you can only put them in certain spots. So it's like you sort of just have to cram them in here. And maybe we can find some other...
Somebody call for an engineer?
Maybe we can find some... Here, go ahead and return this first. We can find some other harvestable resources. And then we'll take a look at the other upgrades that we can get, etc., etc. But let's set these up now. Let's send you down here. Again, I think this is the best use of fighters, and the enemy base is clearly in the upper right. But this is, I think, our first mission where we can really make... We can, like, build stuff in our base, which is pretty neat.
Make it happen.
Got a bunch of resources down here. Good stuff. So we want to... This solar satellite's about to get destroyed, so we should build at least a couple turrets, maybe all the way down here, to defend against enemies that might be coming from this direction. Okay, okay. So this is actually a little expansion we could set up. On a mission like this, I don't really know if it's necessarily worth it to set up another base down here, because the amount of money that it would cost to get that up and running doesn't seem worthwhile, to be honest. I'm going to keep making workers, and I'm going to start harvesting from this helium over here as well.
Construction site is blocked. Construction
Okay,
site
you all
is
just
blocked.
go ahead and move.
Somebody call for an engineer?
There we go.
Colburn reporting.
Construction complete.
And I'm hesitant to use my flechette strike when I have this many of my own fighters still alive. I don't want them getting roasted accidentally. I only have 100 helium, so we got to get this going here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and double build this. And you can have up to 2 workers on each resource field. And I guess if you account for travel time, we could do 3, but I think that's kind of overkill. Basically, 2 can harvest from the same at the same time. Do I want to set this up? Again, I just feel like it's mission 2. So it couldn't hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild that satellite that I lost. But yeah, anyway, I feel like it certainly couldn't hurt to just try to build a little expansion. I think that could be fine. I'm gonna build a second Icarus so that we can go ahead and harvest from this mining station and get this helium that we've been mining back to our command station. So yeah, let's rebuild this, and then I guess let's build a second barricade sat here. And then let's also set up a mining station down here. So the mining stations don't need to be built in the sphere of influence of the command station. But I can't build barricade sats down here, for example. But what I can do is, I guess, recognize that the only way this could get attacked is by enemy fighters, and we have barricade sats over here, which is the only way that they would get to it. So that's, so that's where we're at. I built another Icarus. Oh, and because it was,
Moving up, boss.
it was all the way over, they were rallying onto that, metal section. Let's go ahead and build some supply structures. That's A. We'll shift QU back up there. So here comes some fighters that look like they want to fly over and attack our resources.
Target designated.
Again, the attacks are starting to get a little bit bigger, for sure. Let's get another barricade sat up here. Once all of our fighters die, then I'll just go ahead and start using Flechette Strike. We also have some upgrades here in our mining stations. Cargo compartment capacity of cargo ships. So rather than building more Icaruses, I guess what we could do is go ahead and just increase the capacity of these.
State your request.
I think barricade sats are probably enough to handle fighters that are coming in over the...
Papa 2, sir.
that are coming in over the asteroids in the back to our resource line. Do we want to get any other upgrades? Let's see.
Somebody call for
I
an
think
engineer?
mining speed of miners is an obvious thing. We definitely want that for sure. And then we're going to need another Icarus
Insufficient metal.
soon, so that we can start having a supply line to grab this mining station
Is there a problem?
and bringing things back from there. I think we need to focus more on metal early on here, for sure. Let's just get this other Icarus set up. There we go.
Our stations are under attack.
Colburn reporting.
Okay, get in there and help. And I'll build another barricade set back here as well.
I'm listening. Target
Okay,
designated.
now we definitely need to rebuild the barricade set, because again, they're going to keep sending units over the top there. So this seems again like the type of mission where I probably don't need to have built this, but you know, I'm going to. Okay, cargo ship Icarus, come on down here. You can't auto rally an Icarus right to a mining station. It looked like when I tried to, it said invalid target selected. That's fine. Let's go ahead and just keep building more
Insufficient metal. Research
workers and
complete.
send them down here for metal.
Our stations are under attack.
Destination?
Orders?
And everything seems to be going just fine now. I think so. We're getting the one of these I started getting. I must be already be done. Is the mining speed, and I do think that the cargo ship speed is going to be a great upgrade. And we actually have a surplus of helium, so this is the perfect time to go ahead and snag this as well. Especially because we have a really long supply route here. Engineer shuttles can fly over asteroids as well. Would you look at that?
Somebody call
So,
for
I
an
again,
engineer?
kind of overboard in general with the kind of stuff that I'm doing here, but it's just kind of a neat concept to set this stuff up, and we can do it in Mission 2 here in a relaxed environment to see, you know, the best way to set it up, and recognize what expansions are worthwhile taking because they're defensible, like this one, because the only way they can get to us is with fighters. Obviously, if, you know, a player, not the AI, could just send fighters down to the very bottom and skirt these barricade sats, but we're not playing against a player, so, you know, that's all well and good.
Somebody call for an engineer?
I'm going to go ahead and grab the increased firing range of Orcas, and then how much do Orcas cost to build? 150, okay. Orca corvettes are designed to destroy stations and shieldless armored vessels. Okay, well that's pretty much the entirety of Black Swan. They don't have any... They don't have any shields, I don't think, except the turrets. We can, again, scout the best way into this enemy base as well. So let's look. I don't think we need... Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to scout, but that's fine.
We are under attack.
Well, we have one fighter left. Again, I just want to fly in here and see what we're kind of up against.
We are under attack.
See, they managed to they just flew right around my stuff, and now they're going for my shuttles.
We are under attack.
So this looks blocked. Now, these lighter colored asteroids are attackable, so I could destroy these with Orcas and just fly right in the other side. So I think that's probably what I'll do. This is a bummer. I guess I could have run away, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and just get our other upgrades. So I guess this wasn't as safe as I thought. I really thought that they would fly in the other direction, and they didn't, unfortunately. Let's start queuing up some more Orcas so that we can go and attack here pretty soon.
State your request.
Getting hit from multiple directions. Probably just want to go ahead and get some more defenses in general. I mean, this down here can't really be defended better, so, oh well. I don't think I can cram another barricade sat down there.
Orca ready.
Where are you, D? Yeah, I can't really, I mean, that's...
For an engineer?
There's no way to do that. The only thing I could do separately is to build some fighters and just leave them down there. Maybe like 4 or 5 fighters would be the best way to do that. Let's get a barricade sat back here.
Great, somebody
The
call
enemy's
for an
actually kind of
engineer?
tricky with the directions they choose to attack from, so we have to be constantly very vigilant.
Orca ready.
Securing the
Aye, aye, you know it.
We have to be very vigilant with, you know, what directions we set up barricade sats, and then we have to defend our supply lines. Let's get up here and start attacking these asteroids. The smaller ones you can destroy pretty fast, but the bigger ones, like this, for example, it has 10,000 HP, so that's obviously not something we want to be messing around with.
Battle stations.
Orca ready.
Okay, and then I did queue up some upgrades. Actually, you can only queue up one upgrade at a time. I take that back. But this seems kind of like the sneaky way to go, so this is what I'm going to do. Barricade sat is set up, so we're all good.
State your request.
Our stations are under attack.
Battle stations.
I feel like knowing that you could go this way, we might have been able to win really early, not bothering with any of the enemy things at this rate, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Let's come on down here.
Alpha 2, sir.
Get another barricade sat down there.
Make it happen, sir. Orders?
We are under attack.
I'm not sure if they have another base up there, or they just are attacking, you know, they're just sending their fighters sort of in wild directions. But yeah, I'm just going to keep making orcas, and we're just going to fly right in there and take this out.
I'm listening.
I don't know if Colburn could outrange these Keiko turrets, Keiko turrets, whatever they're called.
Right away.
Definitely not. He does plenty of damage though, so I think he's fine. Long range caliber of artillery.
Orca ready.
Okay, let's go ahead and destroy this,
Battle stations.
because this'll disable all the enemy turrets in this base. Again, I think we could have done this a lot earlier, but I decided to
Commander,
mess
the
around
drone
and
stations have stopped working.
Give me something to destroy.
mess around and you know, see what we could do with expanding and stuff, because this is a mission where we don't have to, but we can experiment and see how it all works.
Orca ready.
Not have enough supply.
Okay, we're supply capped, that's fine, because we're pretty much done with the map. We got to get in here and destroy the remaining enemy
We are under attack.
buildings and fighters and etc., etc. I think we have enough orcas here. It seems like enemy structures actually path block, interestingly enough.
State your request.
This looks like their production structure. Pirate port, that sounds about right. So let's take this out.
Research complete.
It seems like the enemy was scripted to fly around specific areas to try to harass us, which I think is neat. I think the fighter speed upgrade would be really good too. It's just the economy takes a while to get off the ground in this game, or at least that's my impression of it. And because of that, we have like you really have to ask how to spread your early funds.
Commander, we've ridded UX-22B of the bloody Black Swan. Unicorp has now regained full control of the stations.
Greg, don't you think it's weird that the Black Swan wanted to get these facilities so much? They sacrificed too many resources, vessels, and men. That's not typical of them.
Whatever they want here, Vera may know the answer.
So it seems kind of obvious to me that the Federation is doing some weapons tests out here, and then the pirates are trying to steal it, I think is the idea. Because like, there's super secret turrets out here. Why do they have these here? Anywho, this is, again, kind of an experimental mission, one where we take a little bit longer so that we could learn the game mechanics, and then in the future, we can start taking those mechanics for granted and putting our skills to the test. All right, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.